Hi you guys, welcome back to the Hidden Toy Shop Show. Today we got another book. It's titled Dr. Seuss's Sleep Book. Let's go on and get started, okay? The news just came in from the county of Keck that a very small bug by the name of Van Vleck is yawning so wide you could look down his neck. This may not seem very important, I know, but it is, so I'm bothering telling you so. A yawn is quite catching, you see, like a cough. It just takes one yawn to start other yawns off. Now, the news has come in that some friends of Van Vleck are yawning so wide you can look down their necks. At this moment, right now, under 7 more noses, great yawns are in blossom, like they're blooming like roses. The yawn of that one little bug is still spreading. According to the latest report, it is heading across the wide fields, through the sleepy night air, across the whole country, toward every which way, and people are gradually starting to say, I feel rather drowsy. I've had quite a day. Creatures are starting to think about rest. 2 Bifford bomb birds are now building their nests. They do it each night, and quite often I wonder how they do a big job without making a blunder. Now, but that is their problem, not yours, and not mine. The problem is they're going to bed, and that's fine. Sleep thoughts are spreading throughout the whole land. The time for night brushing of teeth is at hand. Up at Herkheimer Falls, where the great river rushes, the crashes down crags in great gargling gushes. The Herkheimer sisters are using the brushes. Those falls are just grand for toothbrushing beneath if you happen to be up that way with your teeth. The news just came in from the castle of Krupp, and the lights are all out, and the drawbridge is up, and the old drawbridge drawer just said with a yawn, my drawbridge is drawn, and it's going to stay drawn till the milkman delivers the milk about dawn. I'm going to bed now, so nobody better come around with a special delivery letter. The numbers of sleepers is steadily growing. Bed is where more and more people are going. The Culpeper Springs in the Stiltwalkers' Hall, the Stiltwalkers' stilts are all stacked on the wall. The Stiltwalker walkers have called it a day. They're all tuckered out. They're snoozing away. This is very big news. It's important to know, and that's why I'm bothering telling you so. Out in the west, in the town of Merced, the Hinklehorn Honking Club just went to bed. Every horn has been quietly hung on a hook for the night in its own private Hinklehorn nook. All this long, happy day, they've been thinking about, and the Hinklehorn honkers have honked themselves out. But they'll wake up quite fresh in the morning, and then they'll start right in Hinklehorn honking again. Everywhere, creatures are falling asleep. The collapsible frink just collapsed in a heap. And by adding the frink to the others before, I'm able to give you the Who's Aspire score. Right now, 40,404 creatures are happily, deeply in slumber. I think you'll agree. That's a whopping fine number. Counting up sleepers, just how do we do it? Really quite simple. There's nothing much to it. We found out how many, we learned the amount by an audio tally-o count. On a mountain halfway between Reno and Rome, we have a machine in a plexiglass dome, which listens and looks at everyone's home, and whenever it sees a new sleeper go flop, it jiggles and lets a new big old ball drop. Our chap counts these balls as they plump in a cup, and that's how we know who is down and who's up. Do you talk in your sleep? It's a wonderful sport, and I have some news of the sport to report. The world champion sleep talkers Joe and Mo Redzoff have just gone to sleep, and they're talking their heads off. For 55 years now, each chattering brother has babbled and gabbled all night to the other. They've talked about laws, they've talked about gods, they've talked about paws, they've talked about flaws. They've talked quite a lot about Santa Claus. And the reason I'm telling you this is because you should take up this sport. It's just fine for the jaws. Do you walk in your sleep? I just had a report from interesting news of this popular sport. Near Finnegan Fen, there's a sleepwalker group, which not only walks, but it walks a lot of hoop. Every night they go miles. Why they walk into such length? They have to keep eating to keep up their strength. So every so often, one puts down his hoop, stops hooping, and does quite quick snooping for soup. That's why they're known as the Hoop Soup Snoop Group. I like that one. Sleepwalking too are the curious Crandalls, who sleepwalk on hills in assorted sized candles. The Crandalls walk nightly in slumbering peace, in spite of the slight burns on the hot dripping grease. The Crandalls wear candles because they walk far, and if they wake up, want to see where they are. The news has arrived from the Valley of Vale that a Chippendale Mupp has just bitten his tail, which he does every night before shutting his eyes. Such snipping sounds silly, but really it's wise. He has no alarm clock, so this is the way he makes sure that he'll wake at the right time of the day. His tail is so long he won't feel any pain till Nip makes the trip and gets up to his brain. In exactly 8 hours, Chippendale Mupp will at least feel the bite and yell ouch and wake up. A Mr. and Miss J. Carmichael Crux has just gone to bed near the town of Fort Knox, and they, by the way, have the finest clocks. I'm not at all sure that I'm quite understand just how the thing works with that one extra hand, but I do know this clock does one very slick trick. It doesn't tick-tock. How it goes is talk-tick. So with ticks in its talker and talks in its ticker, it saves lots of time and the sleepers sleep quicker. What a fun night for sleeping. From all that I hear, it's the best night for sleeping in many a year. They're even asleep in the Zybank Motel, and people don't usually sleep there too well. The beds are like rocks, and as everyone knows, the sheets are too short. They won't cover your toes. So, if people are actually sleeping in there, it's a great night for sleeping. It must be the air. It's a great night for snores. I just had a report for some boys who are tops in the musical sport. The snortiest snorers in all of Fairland are Snortin' McPhail and his Snort band. This band can snore Dixie and Old Swanee River so loud it would make 40 elephants shiver. The loudest of all the boys is McPhail. He snores with his head in a 3-gallon pail. So they snore in a cave 20 miles out of town. If they snore closer in, they will snore the town down. Do you know who's asleep out in Funa Laguna? Two very nice Funa Laguna baboona. They've added them into our Who's Asleep count, which has grown to a really amazing amount. Exactly 8,808 creatures are sleeping now. Isn't that great? A Jed is in bed, and the bed of a Jed is the softest of beds in the world, is said. He makes it from pompons he grows on his head, and he's sleeping right now in the softest of fluff, completely exhausted from growing the stuff. The news has come in from the district oft. The two oft are asleep, and they're sleeping aloft. And how are they able to sleep off the ground? I tell you, I weighed one last week and I found that an off is so light he weighs -1 pound. A moose is asleep. He is dreaming of moose drinks. A goose is asleep. He is dreaming of goose drinks. That's well and good when a moose dreams of moose juice, and nothing goes wrong when a goose dreams of goose juice. But it isn't so good when moose and a goose start dreaming they're drinking the other one's juice. Moose juice, not goose juice, is a juice for a moose, and goose juice, not moose juice, is a juice for a goose. So when goose gets a mouthful of juices of mooses, and moose gets a mouthful of juices of gooses, they'll always fall out of the bed screaming. So I'm warning you now, never drink in your dreams. Speaking of dreaming, I think you should note that the Bumbletub Club is now dreaming afloat. Every night they go dreaming down Bumbletub Creek, except for one night every 3rd or 4th week when they stop for repairs because their Bumbletubs leak. But for night they're afloat, full of dreams, full of bliss. That's why I'm borrowing you, telling you this. for the fork of a road in the Vale of Vavode. 5-foot weary salesmen have lied down their load. All day they raced up in the heat at top speeds, unsuccessfully trying to sell Zizerzouf seeds, which nobody wants because nobody needs. Tomorrow will come, they'll go back to their chore. They'll start on the road, Zizerzoofing once more, but tonight they've forgotten their feet are so sore, and that's what the Wonder Night is for. Everywhere, creatures have shut off their voices. They've gone to bed, in their beds of their choices. They're sleeping in bushes, they're sleeping in crannies, some on their stomachs and some on their fannies. They're peacefully sleeping in comfortable holes, some even in soft rutted barber shop holes. The number of sleepers is now past the millions. The number of sleepers is in the billions. Oh no, it's a cliffhanger. Hi you guys, so you're probably wondering why we have these cliffhangers. We believe that part of the journey of reading these books is to get them yourself. We also believe in supporting writers and authors.
The library.
And also your local bookstores. So go out there and find these books because they're really fun to read. Goodbye, come back again, okay?